Hey music junkies, Professor of Rock, always here to celebrate the greatest artists and the greatest songs of all time. If you love music, we would love to have you join our community by subscribing below, where you can comment and talk about this great music. Make sure to hit the bell so you always get our daily content celebrating the best of the rock era. You're also going to want to check us out on Patreon. We've added a bunch of exclusives and benefits there who love this music, and you can help us curate this. The link is below. Now it's time to jump back in and do another episode of 80s Hidden Gems, 5 seemingly passed over songs from the 80s that ought to be in more regular rotation in our lives. Now, like I've said before, it seems like whenever pop culture, movies, TV, other things, when they use music from the 80s to represent, the decade or conjure up nostalgia, the same 30 songs get used over and over. Even on radio stations, we hear a lot of the same songs on repeat. We love these songs. But there's so much more to celebrate from that golden era. So here are 5 more songs that should be listened to and in more regular rotation in our lives. Now, most of these songs, we feature exclusive commentary from the artist. We're always trying to do that. Let's get to it. Number 5, Overkill by Men at Work. This song was resurrected and reinterpreted when Colin Hay did an acoustic version of the song to open an episode of season 2 of the show Scrubs. That was some years back.
Night after night, my heartbeat shows the fear.
It was a hit for Colin Hay and Men at Work in 1983 when it was released as the second single from Cargo. It was the follow-up to their #1 blockbuster album, Business as Usual, such a big album. Let's be honest though, when it comes to Men at Work, almost everybody refers to their pair of #1 hits from Business as Usual, Who Can It Be Now? And Down Under. Both great songs, they're going to live forever on radio. But for me, Overkill is their best song. It's always felt like a deeply personal composition. It's always spoken to me about my personal demons and my anxieties that usually rear their ugly heads at night. Hence, the ghosts appear and fade away. I'm an insomniac, and this song has described my feelings to a T on so many occasions. Brilliant lyrics by Colin Hay that describe the panic that we've all felt at one time or another, especially the first and third verse lyrics. I can't get to sleep. I think about the implications of diving into deep and possibly the complications. I worry over situations that I know will be all right. It's just overkill. Colin Hay captured both the fear and the hope equally in those lines. Here are some other thoughts from Colin Hay on the song in an interview that we did recently.
We were rehearsing. I brought the song to the band, and they were very non-committal. They didn't really. I was so excited about the song, but they were not. Well, maybe they were, but they were very completely undemonstrative about it. I got a little despondent, to be honest. And they went to have lunch, and I just recorded it myself. And I think they might have gotten a little bit upset by that, but maybe not. I can't really remember. But it's a song that I think has some. It's quite open in its interpretation, but it's got some kind of haunting quality to it. That chordally it goes to some interesting places, and because a certain amount of time has gone by, it does have a certain timeless quality to it.
It does.
The song also was about the realization that nothing was going to be the same for us. It was like diving into deep was like, here we go. It's like, this is happening. So even walking down the street was different. Everything changed. So it was like we couldn't go back anymore. There was no going back then. It's like, okay, and so we don't know what's ahead.
Number 4, Self-Control by Laura Branigan. Best known for her #2 smash hit, Gloria from 1982. Laura Branigan had 7 top 40 hits in the 80s, a few of which were remade by other artists later on. How Am I Supposed to Live Without You, remade by Michael Bolton, and Power of Love, remade by Celine Dion. Self-Control is a blazing rocker with catchy synths that articulate this eerie song to great. Laura Branigan had a very distinct voice, and to me always stood out of the crowded field of adult contemporary artists that permeated the charts in the 80s. And this song is one of the best examples of why she did that so well. The song was written by Giancarlo Bigazzi, Steve Piccolo, and Italian singer Raf, who recorded and released the first version of the song in 1984, which went to #1 in Italy. Now, Laura Branigan recorded it not too long after that, and her version hit #4 in the Hot 100 and #2 on the dance charts, as well as #4 AC. So it's kind of a triple crown there. And actually, both versions of the song competed near the top of the charts in several countries in Europe. In fact, they were 1 and 2 in Germany, with Raf's version at the 2 spot, while Branigan held the #1 spot for 6 weeks. And actually, in Switzerland and Germany, Laura's version of Self-Control was crowned the biggest song of 1984. It was a hit everywhere. I mean, it also hit #1 in Canada, Austria, Sweden, and South Africa. Self-Control was masterfully arranged by Harold Faltermeyer of Axel F fame, with a transcendent synth line followed by that powerful drum part that leads into the revved up guitar that just ignites. From there, Branigan's understated vocal builds beautifully as the song moves to the iconic background vocal. The lyrics create a mysterious energy and an imagery of the city at night, and the narrator talking about losing control with no tomorrow, only living for the night. The song was used to great effect in the video game Grand Theft Auto Vice City, and I'll tell you, it's poised for a comeback. It's such a great song. Laura Branigan sadly passed away many years ago. She died at her home in August 2004 from a previously undiagnosed cerebral aneurysm. Her music continues to inspire, as the previously mentioned song Gloria was actually adopted by the hockey team, the St. Louis Blues, during their tremendous comeback where they won their first Stanley Cup. Man, I was so happy to see Laura and her song honored like that. Also, Self-Control recharted in 2004. It hit #10 on the Billboard Dance Sales chart the week that Laura passed away. #3, Every Little Kiss by Bruce Hornsby and The Range. This is a song that you feel right down to your heart, right down to the bones. This was written and released at a time when a great song was given the chance to stretch out and tell a real story, while at the same time drawing us in with a great beat and a great melody. I mean, the vocals don't come in until like a minute into the song. It was the first single from Bruce and the Range's fabulous debut album, The Way It Is, from 1986. It stalled at #72 at first try, but then it was re-released after The Way It Is went to #1, and Every Little Kiss hit #14 in the summer of '87. This song has always caught my imagination with its subtle piano beginning that slowly sets up the song for the drum and guitar parts that pull you in with the story of a man who works on the docks in the day, and he barely makes it through to the nights where he can call his lover, who resides 1,000 miles away.
1,000 miles away.
Bruce's lyrics paint a romantic picture of a lonely everyman who feels more like a number rather than a human being, who daydreams to get through the days, and that dream keeps his hopes alive, when the sun sinks low on Watertown, with the faith that someday he's going to be reunited with his true love.
Every little kiss, every little while.
I mean, with a dynamic guitar solo that transforms into Bruce's elegant ivory-pounding piano solo that takes the song to the next level, racing it off to that powerful ending. Just a beautiful, catchy, yet soulful song that is ripe for resurrection. Here's what Bruce Hornsby said about the song in an interview that we did some years ago. That song has always stuck with me because it's talking about Watertown and working on the docks 1,000 miles away. What is that about? Where did it come from? I mean,
I don't know. I wrote it by myself. I used to write with my brother a lot, but Way It Is and Every Little Kiss were the 2 songs on that first record that were just
you.
They're just solo compositions. I really don't remember. It's funny, that song doesn't really age well with me. I don't play it very, very often. I play it on the dulcimer sometimes.
Yeah, I've heard that. I've seen it on YouTube.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's right. Everything you do, all your warts are on YouTube at this point, right? So I really don't remember. I wrote it in my house in Van Nuys, California in '85, right when I got my record deal. It wasn't on the original recording, original demo that got me signed to RCA. but it came quickly after that, and it was instantly embraced as one of the singles, you know. I actually was sort of trying to do a Van Morrison thing. You say Springsteen, but of course, early Springsteen has a lot in common with Morrison.
Sure.
So it was sort of a half-assed attempt at a Van Morrison-esque thing.
Yeah. Well, and Sarah Evans did
Yes, she sure
that.
Did.
That was
right.
a fun version.
Yeah,
When I heard that, I was like, oh my gosh, you know.
Yeah, I played on the record. That was really enjoyable.
Number 2, Tender Love by Force MDs. This is the ultimate slow jam from 1986. It hit number 10 on the Hot 100 from the movie Crush Groove, which was loosely based on the early days of Def Jam Records. The song was written and produced by the legendary team of Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, who were at the start of their record-breaking career, inching toward the start of the blockbuster success of writing and producing Janet Jackson's breakthrough record, Control, one of my favorite pop albums ever. To me, the backbone of this song, Tender Love, is the lovely piano figure that is perfectly matched with the pristine vocals of Antoine TCD Lundy. The harmonies, of course, are luxurious, and the overall sound of the Force MDs, especially this song, was a major influence on the New Jack Swing movement that was to follow. This song was a big crossover hit. It went to number 2 on the AC charts, number 4 on the R&B charts, in addition to its top 10 placing on the Hot 100. It also hit number 23 in the UK charts, which is great. Force MDs were originally called the LDs, and then they were the Force MCs, finally settling on Force MDs. They scored a number 1 hit on the R&B charts with Love Is Like a House in '87, another great song. Sadly, since the group's peak in the mid to late 80s, 3 key members from Force MDs have passed away, including main singer Antoine TCD Lundy, who died of Lou Gehrig's disease in 1998. But the song lives on, having influenced a lot of artists who grew up on the tune. It's been sampled by Bone Thugs and Harmony,
I've been struggling and hustling, thugging it forever.
covered by everybody from Alicia Keys to the Backstreet Boys. Here is Jimmy Jam with some more insight into the song.
The vocal harmony thing, like I say, really comes from, like I say, I grew up, the Philly music, when I was in high school, I had a counselor who happened to get moved to an office that had a piano in it because they'd run out of space for him. And he sang. And he'd get me out of school for 2 hours and we'd just write songs all day. And all the songs we wrote all were singing group type songs, stylistics, blue magic, dramatics, like all of those kinds of things. So I loved writing those kinds of songs. Tender Love, interestingly enough, we didn't know who the artist was going to be when we did the song. We just were told that there's a love scene in Crush Groove, the movie, and we need a song for the love scene. We had no idea who was actually going to sing it. We didn't know it was going to be a male vocalist, or we knew it would be a male vocalist, but we just didn't know what kind of thing it would be. So we thought, when we wrote the song, the interesting thing is the lyrics to the song basically went exactly the way that the scene went. Now, they ended up chopping the scene way down because everybody said, well, we don't want to see a love scene in a hip-hop movie. But I'd love to one day find the actual cut the way it was cut together, because literally that's the way we wrote the lyrics.
Yeah.
But the piano thing is just, I love major 7th chords. Like, so if that's like a regular chord, right?
Right.
If you put this on it,
it
becomes a major 7th chord.
Mm-hmm.
Those are always my favorite chords. So all I would do is, so Tender Love is basically. So that could have worked with just a vocalist. It didn't have to be a group. So when they told us it's going to be Force MDs, well, I knew Force MDs. I can't remember their song. Let Me Love You, I think was their first one. The one where they were on the ferry in the video. And I totally knew who they were. And we were like, oh, cool. So we knew we'll make it into like a singing group type song.
And number 1, New Moon on Monday by Duran. We did a feature a while back on Duran, and I shared my top 5 for For those new to the channel, we call our top 5 a fiver. Anyway, it was extremely difficult not to include this classic hit from 1984. It's just such a feel-good song. I'm gonna give you a great cheat code here. If you play it right when you wake up in the morning, there is a 98% chance you will have a phenomenal day. I mean, that's how great this song is, seriously. The second single taken from the band's third album, Seven and the Ragged Tiger, it reached the top 10 on both sides of the Atlantic. It hit number 9 in the UK and number 10 in the US. Truly, though, this song is impossible not to like. With such a positive, rousing, anthemic chorus, Simon Le Bon turns it up loud, all the way up to 11 for this vocal that gives the song its integrity. I love the dynamics of his vocal as he's very subtle and methodical when moving through the verses, and then starts bringing the soul leading up to the rejoicings of an absolutely swaggering chorus when Simon joyfully declares, "I light my torch and wave it for the new moon on Monday." The meaning of this song has been debated by Duranis for a while. Some say it's about overthrowing a dictatorship, which probably comes from the music video. Others have claimed it's about waiting for sex with his significant other. Anyway, I didn't ever really pay as much attention to the lyrics as much I did the feeling of the song. I mean, its happy exuberance always lifted me in times of despondency and discouragement, frustration. The other element that lights up this song for me and so many others is the genius grooving of John Taylor's bass line. I mean, John Taylor never really gets the props that he so richly deserves for his bass chops, one of the best of the era for sure. Now, here's the deal. There are 10 other Duran songs that almost always get the love before this one. So it's definitely underappreciated and deserves many more listens. You just can't hold back its joy or Simon Le Bon's no-holds-barred majestic vocal. So there you have it, 5 more gems from the golden era, the 1980s, that should be added to your daily listening. To hear these songs, click on the YouTube playlist below that we've created. Leave us a comment about these songs and the artists. What are some memories you have with these? Also, what other songs should we cover on this segment in the future? Now, to get these songs on vinyl, which is the right way to listen to music, and for other artist-related merch, click on our Amazon links below. If you like our content, we invite you to subscribe to this channel. Make sure, again, to click the bell so you never miss out on our daily content, always celebrating the best of the rock era. Also, again, check out our offerings on Patreon. Become a patron to help us keep the music alive. More videos, more interviews. Until next time, 3 chords and the truth, my friends. Stay safe out there.